Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Eric or Ninja XTX, and welcome to my 7th video on my knife self-defense series. Now, in last week's video, I discussed using the knife as a deterrent, and this is kind of going to be a continuation of that. When you use the knife as a deterrent, as I said, if somebody sees somebody wearing a knife, they're not going to be as bold or as, pardon my language, but dumb as hell to mess with somebody that carries a blade on their hip. Now, on the flip side of that, if you carry a knife like this buoy that I have on your hip, you kind of have to worry about the legalities of it, and then you sort of don't. Let me explain what I mean before I get critics saying, what are you talking about? You always have to worry about the legalities of carrying a blade. No. Well, yes and no. If you are carrying a blade in a bad part of town, whether it be this type blade or this type blade, you don't really have to worry about the legalities if it's a bad part of town. I will explain to you why. Because most people, if they live in a bad part of town and they attack you, they don't want attention brought to themselves. So if you use the knife and somebody sees you use the knife, they will be less apt to call the police because they don't want to explain what they were doing in that, let's say, drug-infested or crime-infested part of town. If it does become a legal issue, that's when you can carry a knife like this. Same basic principles, you just have a smaller blade to work with. But you have to be careful with a smaller blade after you work so long with a large blade, because you're going to be a whole lot faster with the smaller blade because you've gotten used to using a large blade in a fast motion, if that makes sense. So same techniques, just a smaller blade. At the same time, your moves with the smaller blade will have to be more tight and more compact. You can't do large cleaving motions that you could do with a bowie knife with a knife as small as this. So legally, this would be the ideal blade to carry. Now, throwing all the legalities out, yeah, you can get away with wearing a large blade like this. You just have to know your environment and know know what type of environment you're going into. If you're going into a large urban setting where the police are often called, yeah, you may want to have this blade. But if you're going into an area where people are not necessarily comfortable with calling the police, or you figure the police will be less apt to come to that area, yes, I say by all means carry a knife like this, because you're gonna have to show these people that are threatening you that you mean business. Which one do you think is going to show people that you mean business? I'll give you a minute to think about that question. Trick question, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what blade you choose to wear, people are going to know you mean business. Now, I would personally wear both in a situation where I'm going into a bad area that I don't know anything about. Because if the police stop me, or I get stopped by the police for anything, I can say, yeah, I used this knife to defend myself. But if the police don't stop me, I can get away with carrying this one. Same to the thugs or whatever, or the hooligans that try to mess with you. Yes, I know how to use this blade. I will not use it. But if you harass me or threaten to cause me any harm, I will have no choice but to use this blade. I know this was a kind of a long, rambling lesson, but you guys that are viewing these will understand why I'm doing such a long, rambling lesson in next week's video. I hope this helped somebody, and I hope this made sense to you guys. Please take care of yourselves and each other. One world, one love. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, please send them to my YouTube account, or if you know how to get in touch with me on Facebook, please send them to my Facebook account. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Bye-bye.